now for the dedication. First, I want to express my appreciation to all those in Brookings, past and present, who had the foresight and willingness to make Hillcrest such a fabulous park for the community. As part of Hillcrest, the tennis courts have been a wonderful resource for the Brookings community and also for eastern South Dakota. Thanks to all who created this special place and made it a center of tennis activity for eastern South Dakota. Bill could talk later on a little bit better about the history of tennis here in Brookings, in high school and community tennis. Now we'll go to the unveiling. Right over here, we just had a picture of Henry. He retired from SBSU, but he's a longtime tennis player. If you met Henry, you loved him. He's just a wonderful person, and we got to be great friends. Put this over here now. So, you can see that better, but it's actually going to help me a little bit better. This is the plaque that we had done when Diane's children actually helped get the plaque made. And we have a nice picture here with Henry on it, with playing tennis. Eric Landberg took that from the newspaper quite a few years ago. It came in well now. If we go through it, it's in memory of Professor Henry Kayongo-Male. Did I say it correctly, Diane? Okay. Well, we have a little logo because Henry's a professor, so we came up with this. If you're in tennis, you start at love. My tennis game starts with love, love. It's also applicable to normal life, as in playing fair. Call the lines. If it's in, it's in. If it's out, it's out. Be fair to yourself, and also be fair to your opponent. All right? Both of them count. Next, you have to stay focused in tennis. If you don't stay focused, you get distracted easily. You're not going to do too well. That's also a lifetime application. Finally, this is Henry. Compete. We want to see a good game. If you're out in life too, you have to compete. Try to do your best. Alright? So, this is a nice saying that represents Henry. Down here, we just want to give recognition. It's a gift to the Brookings Tennis Club, the community. There's 70 people actually contributed to make this possible. Alright? From all walks of life, people we worked with on campus, tennis community, former students, USC Northern Hall of Fame, just friends here in Brookings. It's quite representative of the people that he knew. Next, we have friends and family. Just said a little bit about his friends. You know, we loved Henry out here. I also want to mention his family. His family is a group of tennis champions. They played a lot here. The Brookings Bobcats. Bill will probably talk a little bit more about the Bobcats. Okay, I want to say this about his family. They're not only tennis champions, but I would say they're tennis champions in life. Right? They're very good people. Finally, I want to recognize the United States Tennis Association who helped make this possible. We didn't have them. I don't know if we could have pulled it off because they put it on the web. It's a non-profit. Kept track of the money. We donated a lot of the money towards the bench. We raise a lot, but they really helped us accomplish this goal. So now, I want to just go on to the next topic a little bit. When I first started playing tennis at Hillcrest, I really wanted to play with the main group, which included Henry. So I practiced at the old high school courts, which are now gone. On my serve and baseline shots with the ball machine when nobody was watching. It was well worth the effort. I gained a great group of tennis buddies, including my good friend Henry. We played most days for many years, not just for exercise, but also for camaraderie. We had a great time, and as a group, we still do. Now there's an ancient Greek saying. You may know it more as the postman's motto: neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays these courageous couriers from the swift competition of their appointed rounds. I think it applies to us tennis diehards. I personally have seen this in our group. We played in 100-degree weather, right, Steve? We shoveled snow, heated tennis balls, played in driving windstorms, and Dave Z him and I even kept playing at the Brookings close tournament when the tornado siren went off and everyone had headed to safety, but we completed the match.
Right.
Now, I don't advocate this, so don't let your children maybe do this, but we did it. We can be irrational at times, but we love tennis. Henry, along with the rest of us fanatics, play tennis the whole year round, including inside, at Larson's, the Wellness Center, and Fifth Street Gym. Tennis is in our blood. What else can I say? So now, how do we come to this bench? About 2.5 years ago, Henry, after some health problems, started saying we should have a bench for people who are not playing anymore, who have physical difficulties, can sit and enjoy the people who play tennis. Consequently, this bench is a tribute to his request to make the Hillcrest courts a better place for all. I finally have one more story before I hand off into it. To Dave, this is where I said I didn't want this to blow away. But actually, there's a story that's in the South Dakota magazine. In 225, they have memorable teachers. All right? Well, in this here, there's a particular student who's reflective of all the thousands of students that he went through. And so I thought I'd just read what he had to say. I graduated with a fitness wellness degree at South Dakota State University, but I was working on pre-med requisites in case football didn't work. My mammalian physiology teacher, Dr. Kayongo-Male, taught me how to work and study hard. Once I missed a couple days of his classes because I was sick. I didn't think he knew anybody's names. There were at least 300 students in the lecture hall. But when I came back, he said, "Hey, Adam Vinatieri, I noticed you weren't in class." It caught me off guard. It made me realize that little things don't go unnoticed. Dr. Kayongo-Male's class was one of the most difficult I've taken, and I had to study every night. Getting a high grade was one of my greater achievements. It helped me with work ethic in every facet, not just in the classroom, but also on the field. No hiding from the kicker. Of course, 4-time Super Bowl champion and in the Hall of Fame. Henry set an example also to the thousands of students he taught and mentored. It was a gift he left to all of us, the countless healthcare providers that now serve us. They had to go through that class before they could move on. Final set and match. Henry Kayongo-Male. For a life well served, my good friend. Dave, will you come up and talk now? Dave, there you are.
Well, that was great, Joe. Thank you so much. Diane, we miss him as you do. He was our buddy. And we still miss him. But we had fun when Henry was playing with us. We had a lot of fun. And Henry was the spark plug for that fun. When Henry turned 70, his 70th birthday, we always had a tennis buddy party. Everybody would have their parties at home, but we always had to have a tennis buddy party. And on his 70th birthday, we put together a list of 70 Henry tennis quotables. And I'm not going to read them all. I'm going to read you a few highlights. But these are things Henry would say on the court in good fun. And many of us still say them. Probably the younger guys, they picked up the sayings. They don't know where they came from, but Henry started all these quotables. And Joe asked me if I would share some of those with you today. So here's just a few of the best. Most of them don't need an explanation. A few I'll expound upon. Bring the heat. So after someone missed an easy shot, he would say, "Some things never change." Those dumb, stupid lobs. That's when somebody got a lob on them. This this team came to play. This team,
I don't know.
set point number 1. We'd love to let him call set point. Even if we were 3 courts away, we'd say, Henry, and he'd say, set point number 1. And then he'd say, it's going to be denied. Kill it. Now, if you're his partner with some particularly tough opponents, he'd say, these are bad guys. I didn't think you were that tall. Someone got a lob that he tried to do. Are you kidding me? How is that possible? If you hit too many bad balls in a row, he'd say, is someone available? You got a shot that you thought was going to go by someone and it didn't, he'd say, I'm not going there again. You crushed the ball, he'd say, you're going to hurt somebody. If you're doing a little weak, did you have lunch today? This game is very easy if you have good help at the net. Usually Bill would get that covered. This is not a spectator sport, it's participatory. Which means you should have ran harder after that ball. It's like taking candy from a baby. What is wrong with this racket? He's a gift that keeps giving.
He usually says that about feet.
Bring that up. We all got that one when you missed the ball.
That's it.
And finally, do you know what it's like to be 70 years old? Anyway, we love them. We miss them.
Diane, when did you guys move to town? 85. Okay, so that's when we moved to town also. But I didn't play tennis for a few years. But reading the register, I noticed, I said, man, Nancy, these Brookings Bobcats are really a good team. The boys and the girls. Well, the Kayongos are largely responsible for that because when the Kayongos moved to town with the girls and Jimmy, everybody moved down a slot, and all of a sudden now Brookings was the team in South Dakota that had tennis. Both the boys and the girls won state for many years. I mean, Brookings was certainly on the map. Henry was a big proponent of junior tennis. I'm sure he hauled those kids around the tournaments all the time. And I subsequently got in that same mode, and he gave me a lot of good advice in that respect. But I got to know Henry after I started playing tennis, and we played tennis all the time, like Dave said. Mostly we'd play matches. All the sayings that Henry had, it was interesting. He didn't come up with them, but they became his. I mean, I'm the one that we were playing doubles down in Mitchell, maybe his last tennis tournament, and he dumped the ball in the net. I said, Henry, what's going on? Did you have lunch? And afterwards, whenever anybody missed a shot, did you have lunch? I mean, it was funny. He did it in such good manner. The other fun thing about playing with Henry was that he knows so many people between the students, the faculty, and neighbors, and being out here all the time. I'll never forget little Jonah Dobbs, you know, when he first started, you'd be playing with Henry! Everybody knew Henry when you played with him. And he was always fun to play with. A strong competitor, but a good time. The other funny thing you mentioned is memory. His memory was pretty amazing, you know, when we would mess up on the score. Henry, what's the score? He goes, why are you asking a 70-year-old man what the score is? But he knew it. So, yeah, he kept tennis light. He kept it serious. We miss him hugely, Diane. But he was, like I said, he was a big proponent of the junior tennis. He loved our tournament. Usually sitting right over here. So yeah, if this bench was here, he would have been all over it. And he loved he was a fixture at the tournaments. You knew Henry was going to be down, and not just the Brookings tournament. The Sioux Falls tournament, he almost always went down and was a member in good standing down there too. Usually standing up on the hill behind at McKenna watching the courts. But anyway, we will miss Henry big time.
Well, if this is the time. If anybody wants to have some comments, you can, or you can stay for our annual potluck and talk then too, or you can go home. But we really appreciate everybody here coming out tonight and celebrating our memorial to Henry. And I think it's going to be it's actually an accessible tennis bench, so that's why it's a little bit extra wide. So.
Yep. I'll just say a few things real quick. One thing is for those bobcats, Henry was the one who was coaching them until we got here. So those kids he'd take them to the tennis courts all the time in Kenya, which is where we were before we came here. The other thing I wanted to do is mostly just thank everyone for contributions, especially Joe. It's been months that he's been working on negotiating with USTA, with, making sure we got a website, we got everything organized. And I really appreciate that, because this is something like Bill said, Henry would have been sitting here all the time. This was his favorite place. And he loved all of the, his tennis buddies were the biggest thing. And the biggest kick I get right now is a video that Joe had sent me. I don't know what winter that was, but Henry and him were out there in their winter coats with the ball machine. I think I'm in the court over there. And they were trying to get the ball machine to cooperate. It was freezing cold out. They were both in their winter coats. That's how dedicated they were. And he loved watching the kids who were coming up in the various tennis teams. So thanks everyone for coming.